about a brand you've stayed loyal to for years, not because it was the cheapest option, not because it was the most convenient. You just kept choosing it, almost without thinking. Now think about your own brand. Are people choosing you that way? Or are they choosing you because, for now, you happen to be convenient? There's a real difference between those two kinds of loyalty. One is fragile, the other is durable. And the difference isn't about better marketing or a clever offer, it's about something quieter, something most people building a brand never get taught. Today, I want to walk you through the actual psychology behind why people stay loyal to a brand and what it would take to build that kind of loyalty into your own. Here's something that surprises people. Loyalty is rarely about having the best product or the best content. If quality alone created loyalty, the most talented person in any industry would automatically have the most devoted audience, but that's not how it plays out. There are brilliant designers, marketers, and creators with mediocre followings, and average ones with deeply loyal communities. That gap exists because loyalty isn't a rational evaluation, it's an emotional pattern. People don't stay because they've calculated that you're objectively the best. They stay because something about their experience with you has become familiar, trusted, and emotionally safe. Quality earns someone's attention once. It's something else entirely that earns their return. The first hidden driver of loyalty is predictability, not in a boring sense, but in an emotional one. People stay loyal to brands that consistently deliver the same feeling, even when the content or product changes. They know what they're going to get emotionally before they even engage. This is why wildly inconsistent brands struggle to build loyalty, even with great individual pieces of content. If someone can't predict how they'll feel when they show up, informed one day, sold to the next, ignored the day after, their nervous system never relaxes into trust. Predictability isn't about repeating the same content. It's about reliably delivering the same emotional experience, the same tone, the same level of care, the same sense of who you are. That reliability is what allows trust to build quietly in the background, without anyone consciously noticing it's happening. The second hidden driver is identity, specifically whether choosing your brand says something about who someone is. This is why people don't just buy products, they buy belonging. When someone follows you, shares your content, or chooses your offer, they're often making a small statement about their own identity, the kind of person who thinks this way, values this way, builds this way. Brands that understand this don't just sell outcomes, they give people a way to see themselves. I'm the kind of person who does the work, not just talks about it. I'm the kind of person who values clarity over noise. When your brand gives someone language for who they already want to be, loyalty stops being about you entirely. It becomes about them, and that's a far stronger bond than any feature or benefit could ever create. The third hidden driver is emotional memory, the specific moment someone remembers feeling something because of you. Most interactions with a brand are forgettable, but a handful of moments tend to stick. A piece of content that named something they couldn't articulate, a message that came at exactly the right time, a piece of honesty that felt rare in a noisy space. Those moments become emotional anchors, and loyalty often traces back to one or two of these anchors, not to a steady accumulation of generally good content. This means your most loyalty-building content isn't necessarily your most viewed. It's the content that creates a specific, memorable emotional moment, recognition, relief, validation, or a shift in how someone sees their own situation. Those moments are what people quietly carry with them, long after they've forgotten the rest. It's worth understanding the opposite, too, why some loyalty collapses the moment a better option appears. When someone stays with you purely out of convenience or habit, with no emotional anchor underneath, that loyalty is conditional. The moment a competitor offers something slightly more convenient, slightly cheaper, or slightly more novel, there's nothing holding them in place. This is the brittle kind of loyalty, common, easy to build quickly, and easy to lose just as fast. Durable loyalty isn't conditional in the same way. Someone might notice a competitor's offer and still choose you, not because you're objectively better on paper, but because leaving would mean giving up something emotional, the familiarity, the identity, the trust that's been built over time. That's the real test of loyalty. Not whether someone chooses you when you're the easiest option. It's whether they choose you when you're not. So, how do you actually build this into your own brand, practically? Start with predictability. Decide on the emotional experience you want people to consistently have with you, and protect that experience across every piece of content, even when a different tone might perform better in the moment. Then look for identity. Ask yourself what kind of person engages with your work, and speak directly to who they're trying to become, not generically, specifically. The more precisely you can name that identity, the more strongly people will feel seen by you. Finally, pay attention to emotional anchors. Notice which pieces of content get people saying, "This is exactly what I needed to hear," and create more from that same place, instead of chasing whatever format is trending that week. None of this requires a bigger audience. It requires a clearer, more consistent emotional signal.
Here's something important to sit with. Loyalty compounds slowly, and it's nearly invisible while it's building. You won't see a notification that tells you someone just crossed the threshold from interested to loyal. It happens quietly, somewhere in their own mind, usually after multiple small moments of trust have accumulated without you knowing it. This means the brands with the deepest loyalty often look, from the outside, like they're doing less than their competitors, less chasing trends, less constant reinvention. But underneath, they're doing the one thing that actually matters: protecting a consistent emotional experience over a long period of time. That's the trade-off. Loyalty isn't built through clever short-term tactics. It's built through unglamorous, repeated emotional consistency that most people give up on far too early because it doesn't show results fast enough to feel like it's working.
If you remember nothing else from this, remember this. Loyalty isn't earned by being the best option. It's earned by being the most emotionally consistent one. People don't stay because you're impressive. They stay because, somewhere along the way, you became familiar, trusted, and tied to who they're trying to become. That's not built overnight, and it's not built by chasing every trend that promises faster growth. It's built quietly, through the same emotional signal, delivered consistently, long enough for someone's mind to stop questioning whether they can trust you and start assuming it. That's the hidden science underneath every brand you've ever stayed loyal to, and it's available to you too. If this gave you a new way to think about loyalty, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of thinking I want to keep bringing you. Grounded, honest, and built for people building something that lasts. I'll see you in the next one.